Hello, everyone. This is Rick with the Cyber Pro podcast, where industry leaders tell us their insights. It's 5 questions-ish in less than 9 minutes because hackers never sleep. So let's get to it. Question number 1, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Jeff Moore, and I'm the Chief Product Security Officer for Draeger Medical. And I'm responsible for all of the technical security for medical devices in the company.
That's a bold position because there's way too many medical devices out there right now.
Well, if you take VxWorks as one of our operating systems, there's almost 2 billion devices out there on that. Not from us, but in general.
Right. No, that's crazy. Question number 2, what's the best thing about being a cyber professional?
Every day is different. Honestly, every day is not the same problem, and that's awesome.
Why is that so exciting? Because I've heard that a lot from other guests.
I think it's probably the best job for anybody with ADD, right? Because it's never the same thing every day and every moment. And it keeps you challenged. Honestly, I like the challenge.
I agree. I used to be a college coach, and that was fun and challenging, but it got monotonous. And so this is a much more intriguing position. So question number 3, I hear from other experts in the industry that cybersecurity is a top concern, but what does that mean to you?
What does it mean to me? It's interesting. I could go on for like days on this one. So security to me is part of my DNA, right? So it's always been top concern for me. But it's kind of interesting when you hear industry leaders talk about it, because honestly, when you look at some of them who are talking about it, actually their top concern is making top dollar to ensure that the company can move forward. Security is just something that helps them get to that place, right? In the industry and where we are. But I feel that it's come more to the forefront in the last few years, actually to the point where security professionals like myself and a lot of my peers are actually becoming more prominent and being able to actually talk to the board and show the benefit of having security. I mean, we're enablers, business enablers, you know.
How do you think, let me rephrase that. What advice do you think you could give to other security folks to align security and that business side of the house?
Understand what your business does. Really understand, work with your business units, spend time with them. I do that quite often to understand where they're going, because you need to align your strategy with theirs, right? And if you're not aligned and you go 2 different directions, you may impact business or they may impact you, right? In fact, most times we're going to have to change our strategy because their strategy, they know their business, we're there to enable that. Right.
I love the word enable. So thank you for that. That's extremely successful use of insights there. Question number 4, what piece of insight do you want to share with other cyber experts?
A piece of insight. I think everybody's given all the good insights out there. I mean, the only thing I always do, and I tell my people and some of the people I mentor, is always ask why. Why do we do things this way? Why? Because most likely there's another way, a better product, a better insight actually of why we do it that way. Some things you can change and some things you can't. But my view on a lot of this stuff is, why do we do it this way? And when my team come with a problem, like, why are we in this situation? Let's go through it, right? Because the why will take you to the how or what, right? And then you can step up the level. And that's quite often when I'm sitting in front of leadership of the board, I want to understand why they're going this direction so that I can actually do the same thing with them to ensure their security. So, you know, it's.
Do you think when you dig into the why, you end up being able to evolve faster?
Yes, that's one side. And also when you dig into the why, you find out sometimes history is repeating itself, and actually you should be trying to evolve, not be stuck in the past, right? You know, and I see that quite often. We've always done it that way. Well, why have you always done it that way? Well, actually, there's a better way this way. We can do it, which is faster. It's better for the organization and may actually be less stressful to the organization, you know.
Great. I want to shift before we get to the final question and just ask, what are some of the biggest concerns that you have facing the medical device industry, specific to what you're doing today? What do you think those concerns are? And you know, if you want to share, how do you think you can help secure that?
My biggest concern is the legacy environments, right? Medical devices have a long life, right? I quite often compare them to satellites. When they were originally designed, they were designed for X operating system, X hardware, and all this stuff. And 20 years later, it's still floating around, keeping people alive. But now it's a vulnerable part of your infrastructure. That to me is some of the stuff that keeps me awake, but also is the hardest part to fix. How do you fix a piece of hardware that was designed 15 years ago, right? You know, how many of you guys still have the iPod, right? Or, you know, you go back there, it's the hardware is now obsolete and nobody uses it, right? But the problem is the hospital devices, you know, they pay a lot of money and they have some great things and they're built to last, you know, and they're built to keep people alive. That is a problem that I tackle with. And that's what I look at now. Can I protect it by putting an additional device on the outside to make sure the data is encrypted between it? How can I monitor it? What can I add to it? You know, where can I find possibly even old software or get a current software vendor to support a security tool that they built years ago that we may want to put inside it, you know? And it's all about working together with the hospital and the people, you know?
All right, well, here's the final question, the fun question. What's your favorite piece of retro technology that makes you smile?
I think I always go back to my Commodore 64. You know, that's the one thing that makes me smile. I still fire up the emulator periodically to look at it and play with some games, or even just look at some of the old code that actually, just for the fun of it, but it makes me smile, you know.
That's amazing. So it's those little things, right, that you think back about all the technology. But Jeff, you did it. 5 questions-ish in less than 9 minutes. It was epic having you on. Everyone, make sure to check out further insights and episodes from Cyber Pro Podcast. My name is Rick. Stay awesome, my friends, and thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, mate. It's been a pleasure.